make a motion to accept the minutes. So,
Yeah, I've read the minutes. I would like to propose that we accept the minutes as they're written.
I so moved. Ed, as usual, an excellent job with the minutes. Thank you, Jennifer. Tony, with the Park Street progress, I got those. Thank you for sending that again, that printout on those 4 proposals.
Problem. Yeah, so we've got the 4 proposals, the 4 tables, alternatives, and Buff, myself, and Marky have had time to kind of look over things and been in touch with a couple of the vendors, and we're excited that to get this project hopefully funded this year, and hopefully by this time next year be in the construction phase.
Right.
And I think Mike Canales is here today to talk to you guys about what he and I have been talking about to put on the warrant for the project.
Yeah. Why don't we go to that right now then? Mike, you want to talk about that?
Sure. So let me see if screen sharing. Steve, could you give me screen sharing?
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. All right, let's see here. One second here. All right. Can you guys see the budget sheet?
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to go to, so taking a look at this based on the projects that were put forward by the water and sewer. We've got the following projects, but right now we're talking about the Park Street pump station, which we had at a original price of $720,000. I know it's fluctuated a little bit, but last I know, talking to Tony, we're going to leave it at that, depending on where the final decision comes in on exactly what option you guys are going to go with. Borrowing for 20 years lays out how much it would cost. What I did is I projected out a debt recommendation. So right now, coming out of the sewer revenue surplus is on this year is 97,000. Next fiscal year will be 96,000. If we were to take on the 720,000 in debt over 20 years, it comes out to be an average payment of roughly of $50,000 a year if we do the first 2 years as interest only, and then do 18 years of interest and principal. What this would create if we were to pay it through the sewer and revenue surplus is for fiscal year 23, we'd be looking at 111,000. And then fiscal year 2024, we'd be looking at 110,000. Then starting in 25 forward, there would only be 48,000 coming out of the sewer revenue and surplus to pay for the loan for the Park Street station. This would keep our debt pretty much level as we move forward for the next couple of years. So thought this was a decent plan as to how to approach the borrowing for this and moving forward. So that's what me and Tony have discussed so far in regards to this.
Yeah, and in 2025, Tony, we're going to have our plant paid for.
Plant?
The plant.
Yeah, our portion of the sewer expansion, yes.
Right. So that's going to fall right into place nicely.
Yeah, and we could always take a path where maybe we want to, depending on what happens down the road, we want to pay more down on the loan as we go. Maybe we keep it at 80 or
Exactly.
whatever we think we can afford to
Yep.
make it
Yep.
go way quicker.
Yeah. One of the good options right now is that interest rates are so low. Now's the time, if we're going to lock in a borrowing, is to lock in a borrowing in the next, say, 6 months.
Yeah.
And then look at maybe what other options we want to use for future projects, because there's a lot of anticipation that borrowing of debt is going to cost substantially more in the next couple of years. But in the short term, 6 months to the next year, they're still projecting interest rates where with our credit rating, we're probably looking at somewhere, I base this on a 2%, but I think we could possibly even do better than that.
Isn't that something? Great. No, I think we should definitely move forward on this. John, you agree?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Thanks, Tony. That's great.
What has to happen? Do you guys have to make a motion to create a special article for this, or how does that have to happen, Mike?
So this would go on as a borrowing article, and I'll have the articles. I have almost all the warrant articles done. So what I would do is once it's done, probably for your next meeting is have you guys vote to support it. Since it's would be coming out of the water and sewer, we'll get a vote from the finance committee and then the select board. So.
And our meeting, I think, will be prior to, yes, because June 12th is the meeting, Mike?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to be in great shape for that. Okay, so we'll wait till we'll get that article and we'll vote on it at our next meeting. Good, thank you.
Great.
So with that, the town meeting articles, and I think actually Mike just had them all listed there.
Yep. I can put them back up.
Yeah, why don't you, if you could do that quickly, that'd be great. But I just want to make sure everyone's on board with everything we have there. So, okay. Tuckerman's Bridge, a new underground camera, of course, the pump station. Cemetery old, so that's nothing to do.
Yeah, the ones in blue are the ones specifically for water and sewer.
Okay.
Mike, did you receive that email I sent last week after our conversation about the sewer grinder?
Yeah, and I still think that between the reserve funds that we'll have remaining and your budget lines right now, I'm still confident that we could probably pull it out of this year's budget.
Okay,
Grinder
fine.
pump. What
I
we
just wanna
will
make
do
sure
is
you
keep an eye
get-
on that as we get closer to the start of May. Because then we should have a real good, we'll have an idea of how we're closing out the last 2 months and we can do transfers or whatever else is needed
Okay,
to do that.
that sounds good. And we had a discussion because I know Don has been in contact with me about the ownership of the sewers on various streets that are private currently. Can you kind of give them a little synopsis of what we need to do?
Yeah, so we'd
Karaka?
have to, so if the sewer and water commission feels as though the sewer lines are appropriate, and here, let me stop sharing if we're all set with this. If you feel as though that the sewer lines were put in and they're appropriate for the town to take over, they're in good shape and the rest, then it's an article to place on town meeting, because only town meeting can incur anything greater than 3 years. So something all boards and that should keep in mind is that any commitment beyond 3 years is only done by town meeting. So obviously in the case of taking on water or sewer lines or anything like that, you're talking about taking them on forever. So that becomes a town meeting vote. There are past articles of when you guys have done this. So if there are lines that we wish to put forward, then we can place them on to the town meeting for a vote there.
And then just so I can't remember exactly what we talked or what you told me, but we have to receive a letter from the current owners, correct?
We should. I mean, unless, if you guys are going to advocate for us going to other owners, obviously, I would anticipate that we would want to get support that they actually would like to have the lines, especially if they're turning it over. And then how are they owned? I think that's the last question that needs to be answered. If they're privately owned right now, who are they owned by? Because I noticed that the one that you gave me doesn't list all the properties on the street. So there are a couple missing. So do we have permission from all of them? And this might be me and you, Tony, having to have a call with legal on this
Okay.
to make sure that how the ownership is currently set up and that they're legally able to transfer the ownership to the town. And then if they are, it's just a town meeting vote to accept.
Yeah, I remember we did that years before. We did it with 2 or 3 other private lines. Did you get any more response, Tony?
I have not. I know I emailed you last week and I used the address. I sent out a note to the address that you had given me
Mhm.
on like last Wednesday. I haven't heard back. So
Well, we did our part. We'll see.
I reached out. I did reach out.
Yep.
However, there are a couple instances currently, and that the people that, we obviously, I think we did this a little bit incorrectly when we did it, and we didn't really mean any harm by it. But and I can email everybody a copy of this letter. I actually sent a letter to the 3 people on Bean Hill Road back in 2005, stating that, and I believe you guys had approved it at a meeting. Approved me to send the letter in a meeting, stating that the town would take over Bean Hill Road after a year after it was constructed. And so I think those people, if it's safe to say, assume that the town owns that sewer line already.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to handle, what approach to take on that, whether we should should I try to reach out to the people on Bean Hill and explain the situation, and maybe we can get some kind of correspondence back from them in time for town meeting, or
I think that'd be a good idea, Tony. Yeah.
I'll try to do that this week.
I know me and Tony talked about this about in the future. So
Yes.
in the future, you want to we can actually go before installation of a sewer line to town meeting to set up what's called a covenant, that basically we agree if they install it to the specifications of the Water and Sewer Commission, that the town would agree after 1 year to automatically take it over. But once again, it goes back to the only ones that can obligate past 3 years is town meeting. But we can set that up. It's something you see a lot more often, especially with subdevelopment in towns where they're putting in roads. And the subdeveloper wants to know that the town will take over the roads. You get a covenant put in place prior to the construction and get it passed at town meeting that once the road's installed to the specifications of the town, you'll then take it over.
Okay.
I think that's a good idea to do moving forward. It's a lot cleaner. And
Yeah.
it kind of automatically happens, and it's already just, decided before they even go to construction, or, if that was like part of the agreement, the commission approving the plan and the covenants in place, that would be a great thing to
I
have, I
agree.
think.
Just one step that we don't have to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Thanks. Curtisville Bridge, Mike, how are we doing with that project?
I stopped up there today, and they have the bridge set in place. It looks great. They have all the water and sewer lines were put on and insulated before they set the bridge in place. And they're coming along really well. Actually, the owner of the company was up there today, which I got chatting with him for a little while this afternoon. So the bridge guys are, the quote unquote bridge guys are there right now getting the bridge set in place, and they were welding on the bearing plates and the I-beams to the bearing plates that are anchored into the concrete. And the guy, Denny, who's been running the project, the digging portion of it, will be back tomorrow with his crew, tomorrow, and they will start doing the digging of the water and sewer mains and setting manholes and whatnot and getting ready to do the tie-ins. They still have to pressure test, chlorinate, flush the water main, just to make sure before we obviously do the tie-ins that's good to go. And then they'll do the tie-in, and they're expecting to be out of here by the end of April.
So they're ahead of schedule, definitely, huh?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're really a bunch of great guys and very professional. They've been really nice to work with, and they've been doing a great job in my eyes. So yeah.
I thought Earl Moffett said the same thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I did see Earl when I left there today. He was down at the other bridge. He must have been down there with somebody from the Averick box culverts. I think Mike had said that. Ray Makers got the contract, and Earl was meeting down there with somebody today when I left. And I did talk to Mike today, and I don't know if he's still on the meeting or not, but I told him that me and you and him would like to get up there and just kind of check things out. So
Yeah.
tomorrow or Friday, whatever day works, tomorrow afternoon is good for me. The morning's not so great, but or Friday during the day, anytime we can get up there and check out the progress.
Yeah, like Friday morning would be good for me. So
Okay.
just let me know.
Well, I'll send an email, and we can confirm what time works for everybody.
Yeah, let me know too, Mike. I'd like to take a look.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
The earlier the better on Friday. That'd be good.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's good news. And you're also Everett Road Bridge, that's going to be started too, Mike?
Yes, so we met today with Ray, because of the ordering of the precast won't be in until actually October. So right now, the plan for the Everett Road is they would begin construction late August, with demolition of it, get it prepped, have the precast structure delivered, installed in October, and then by November, have the Everett Road Bridge completed. And then immediately I'm going to turn around and go after another grant for the bridge program for the second Everett Road as we get that one off there.
And the 183 bridge has a contract been signed for that bridge?
It's out to bid right now. Bids are returned on April 20th. We're planning on, we'll go through the evaluation process, try to have that signed by the start of May. We have a very aggressive schedule in place for that with a goal of having that also completed by October. But we definitely want it completed within this construction season. We do not want to see it go beyond that. We have had 10 different companies who have taken out the bid specs on it. So we've had a very large amount, and we're anticipating to have that under contract by the start of May and construction beginning in June. Good,
excellent. Stoppers Bowl Steering Committee, Mike and John.
Yeah.
Going?
Yeah, I was at the meeting last Friday, and we had discussions regarding the thinking of harvesting, and I think Roxanne had sent around a map which shows the topography of the lake and where the machine should or shouldn't go, and I think that's gonna be starting. Michael Nathan was very happy with that. Jim Willis from the health department was discussing how some of the people on Lake Drive want to have shown an interest in a sewer hookup. And I was talking to Mike Buffoni yesterday because I was on the meeting thinking it was yesterday. And I was saying, how do we go about it? Because there were a couple of people who were on the Zoom meeting that were people who live there and shown an interest. And my suggestion at that point was, well, give us the names, give us ideas of how many people are involved. And I suspect that, as Mike mentioned, that this would then go, well, we'd have to identify those who have to have sewer hookup because their Title V's are failing, or their particular lot of land isn't absorbing, and there are those who want to. So once we identify those, I think we have to act, and I guess an engineer report has to be established. So how would you like me to go back and talk about this?
Well, they've indirectly they contacted us earlier, Mike and Tony.
Okay.
Remember that that group has said before, actually they were worried about capacity at one time because they were talking about maybe White Pines coming on our system, and they were concerned about excess capacity because in case down the road that they would want to hook onto the sewer system.
But that's not an issue anymore, right? The capacity issue has been passed.
No,
We have the capacity now?
Tony, we're fine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that, you know, we have about 200,000 gallon capacity currently at the plant, extra.
Mhm.
So, yeah, what they got to do is, John, what you're saying is right. I mean, they've got to do some work themselves.
Right. They have to find the engineer. Is that how it works?
Well, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea because we have no money for the engineering part of it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, they're going to have some expenses. And, you know, we're just talking about a private sewer line right now. And maybe they want to look into that.
So maybe that we should encourage them to do a private sewer line, and then we could go through the process that Mike Canales was talking about a minute ago about covenant or something.
Well, I think that may be premature. Well, what we'll do is, what they should do is right now, probably, don't you think, Mike and Tony, that they probably should get some form of engineer and do some form of study and then at least do a preliminary thing with us.
Yeah, they
Talk to
probably
us.
should figure out, you know, amongst themselves, how many people are interested and, you know, what the lineal footage is and get a preliminary concept from an engineering firm on what it would cost and would it be affordable if, say, I mean, how many people, John, do you think are interested up there?
I don't know. I suggested that they let us know by the next next meeting that we get an idea how many people are involved. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely doable. There's a couple ways you could do it. Obviously it's down gradient from our gravity main on 183, so they'd have to pump up. Whether or not they want to, you know, do like your street, Don, where everybody has an E1 grinder pump and pump it into a common main, or build a pump station down there somewhere. I don't really know what the best scenario would be. That'd be an
Right,
engineering
this is all
call.
preliminary. Anita,
Yeah.
you had a question?
You're muted.
Yes. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
unmuted. Okay, I'm on Lake Drive, and I was fortunate enough to be on the sewer. The sewer line stops at the Tennessee gas line. So I'd say there's about 25 houses on the other side that don't have sewer. So is it that the town wouldn't be the one that hooks them up? They have to go the way of the private sewer line?
We're not sure. This is all preliminary, Anita. We need some more information.
So
Let's put it this way right now. There's nothing budgeted from the water and sewer department to do a sewer line on Lake Drive.
right. So would they need all the houses, or would just be, I mean, because I'll pass this back on to Laura Beasley, the president of Lake Drive Association, about finding an engineer. Is that correct? And how many houses would be interested?
Yeah. Again, it's all preliminary, and I think you know, your association needs to do some work. Yeah.
Right, and I know that there are a few houses under construction or hopefully going to be. So it would be beneficial for them if something happened before they put in a new septic.
Oh, sure. Oh, sure.
So
Yeah.
The one thing that the engineering would do too is give us some kind of flow numbers that we can say, okay, yeah, you know, if there's 30 houses or 10 houses, the engineering report can give us some kind of idea of how much flow they're gonna potentially give us down at the treatment plant as well, which is an important number for us to know.
Right.
do you know engineers?
That's why engineering is so important.
Yeah.
Do you have recommendations as far as engineers, or they're on their own?
You could actually you could have someone contact Mike or Tony. I think
Okay.
I think we could do that. We've worked with competent engineers before, and I think we could do that. I
Okay.
always have a buddy here.
That's nice. It's good to have a friend. And it would be good for the lake, you know, the more houses that are on the sewer as opposed to the failing septics.
That's
So thank you.
That's how I first got on the board, was when we did the septic system around Beechwood. That was my introduction to Water and Sewer Commission.
I wasn't aware that they actually had it. So it's just Lake Drive that's not on.
No, there's other parts of the lake that aren't on it also, but the important part of the lake that was an issue, they're on it. They're on town sewer.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, Mike, Tony, concerns?
Yeah, just a quick note here. I was on a Zoom meeting this morning with regards to our NIPD's permit, which we have been operating under one from like 2005, and which is totally legal and everything. They just haven't. There's 66 plants in Massachusetts currently that discharge under 1 million gallons a day, and we're one of them that are operating under their old permit. And EPA is coming out with what's called a general permit for all these plants. And after sitting through that meeting today for about half an hour, and they're going to send us a link tomorrow. And there's a month review period and a comment period. Basically, it's helping these smaller plants like ours apply for their permits. You don't even have to, actually, there's no application even needed. They send you a link, you click on it, and it gives you all the things that will be in your upcoming permit, which basically, after hearing what they had to say today on the meeting, will mirror just about everything we do now.
Good.
And then you guys as a board can make a decision whether you want to join the general permit overlay, if you will, or we want to go for an individual permit. And I mean, my recommendation is after I see it tomorrow, and I'll pass the link along to everybody so everybody can see what the requirements are for reporting and stuff. I asked a couple questions at the meeting about things, and they said that, probably 99% sure that everything will stay just about the same. And, if we're comfortable with the general permit, it takes a lot of the burden off me to have to apply and go through all that process.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, they're trying to streamline this for the smaller plants that pretty much have had the same requirements for the last 20 years or so. So I'll send along the link when I get it tomorrow.
Okay. Now I sent you something when I read the paper about Pittsfield discovering that variant in their system. Can we check that, Tony, or can we?
I looked into it. We don't have the capability of testing for COVID-19 or the variants at our treatment plant. That'd be an out-of-house lab issue. And so I called our local lab where we bring stuff every week, and they turned me around to one of their bigger places in the South. So I've been kind of corresponding back and forth. I thought it was going to be easier than it seems to be. Maybe I should get in touch with Carl up in Pittsfield and ask him what he did.
That might be a good idea. I can't believe you said something down south.
I know, I follow that stuff in the news, and it's a big concern of mine. Like, I don't go down anywhere near where there's open sewage or anything without masks and rubber gloves on or anything. They're detecting these variants, and I guess the easiest way to detect it is through wastewater and where it's being, I guess, moving around. I don't know.
Okay. That's a good idea. Mike?
I'll be getting the flushing notice out. We'll have to do a reverse 911. When COVID hit last year, we didn't flush the system because we wanted to keep everything to minimal, being out in the field. So that's going to be going out. We do that start this month. That'll take me a couple weeks during the regular workday. And then the only other thing I have is NOMKEG, just an update on their water and sewer utilities being replaced. They're all hooked up. We did all the pressure testing and chlorination, dechlorination. They just have one more irrigation line to hook up to the water main, but they have 1,600 feet of new 8-inch water, and they put in 2 new fire hydrants, and they have 1,600 feet of new 6-inch PVC sewer with a bunch of new manholes. So
Wow.
I was up there last week doing some some measurements so we can have some documentation of where shutoffs are in case of emergencies.
Mhm.
And I took a bunch of pictures during the construction of the water and the sewer. And Keith Wilkinson Excavating did that, and everything's looking good. So that was a good thing to get done. They have a new that old 6-inch cast iron water main was probably from 1890s. Was really choked down. They had no fire flow up there. So it was a good project for them to get done.
Good, yeah, good protection for all that property up there.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, anything else?
Yeah, I just got a quick
Yeah.
note on a quick note. Since the weather's broken and we've been out and about working, we've been working hand in hand with Hugh Page on a few projects lately. We replaced the culvert up on Averick Road, and he helped us do some cleaning out. We cleaned out all that debris out of the field down there and hauled all the dirt away and burned all the brush. And he helped us with the project yesterday. And I just want to pass along a positive note that, Huey's been a real good advocate for us to go to, and likewise for him. And I look forward to working with the highway in the future with the water and sewer. It's kind of nice. Yeah,
I played golf today, and there was a couple guys asking me about what's happening with the highway department, and also with the town administrator, by the way. And I gave them both really excellent reports, because I think, Mike, you're doing a great job for the town, and I know Hugh has really stepped up to the plate, and this is what we have been wanting, that symbiotic relationship with our board, our department, and the highway department, actually all departments. And this is nice to see it's happening. I can see us even helping maybe even the Parks and Recs for something. So
Oh, absolutely.
this is a good move.
Yeah, we're all here for the good of the town, and everybody should be working together, and we are, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, good things are happening in the town of Stockbridge. Good.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. If that's it, John, you want to make a motion that we adjourn the meeting?
Yeah, let's make a motion to adjourn. I make a motion right now to adjourn.
Okay, I second it. And thank you very much, everyone, and enjoy the rest of the day and the week. It was
All right, take care.
beautiful out
See
there.
you. Bye-bye.
I'll tell you. Thank you.